Lights Out in Dead by Daylight offers a unique advantage of essentially turning every killer into a stealth killer. So I wanted to find out if this even further maximizes the potential of killers who already have stealth in their kit. And so my tier list was born. I set out to rank 12 different killers based on 3 categories: stealth, strength, and fun. I chose to include killers that have some element of basekit undetectable, with the addition of Hag and Trapper. Of course, they are not inherently stealth killers, but I wanted to explore more so the stealth of their traps and how that functions in this mode. So which killers fared the best in this mode, and who would I say is the most worth playing? Some of the results may surprise you. So we of course have to start with my main man, Chucky. He already has on-demand stealth with Hidey Ho, but I think one of his biggest advantages in Lights Out is just being so small. He can hide behind things and sneak around in ways that most killers can't. So I'm expecting him to be pretty strong here, but let's see how he does. Right, it's my little guy's time to shine. This is darker than I was expecting. Oh my god. I think she died in real life. I think she died. Okay. Oh my god. Why are they both there? What is happening? What? Are you guys okay? I don't... She just went right into the rock. Okay, what is happening in this mode? Hello. Hello. I like when they just stand still. Like, I'm like, did you have a heart attack? Hope they are. Let's go, let's go, let's go. No grabs. I don't think you can even get them, like... They always just stand still. Is someone in that locker? Hi, Injin. Thank you. I should have been the third grab, not the first. Oh my god. Wait. I might be the best Chucky ever. That was a play. Hello. Okay. That makes up for that chase earlier. So, like, they can be fully healed and still have that. That should have been a grab. I also surprised she didn't see me. I totally knew where I was going. I did, I swear. So Chucky gets a 5 out of 5 for stealth for me. His laughing and footsteps can definitely give him away, but I think his size more than makes up for it. There were so many times I could stay completely hidden behind something and sneak right up on survivors. For strength, I'm giving him a 4 out of 5. Slice and Dice gives him some solid chase potential on top of the stealth, but he's still Chucky. He's strong, but he's not exactly the strongest killer in the game. And for fun, easy 5 out of 5. Sneaking around trying to scare people and going for grabs was probably my favorite part, even though grabs seem to be completely broken half the time. That gives Chucky an overall 14 out of 15, putting him in the top S-tier spot for me. Next up we have Myers, and I feel like he should be another really strong pick for Lights Out. He basically has permanent stealth outside of power, and with the limited visibility, I was hoping I'd be able to stalk survivors from a distance without them even realizing I was there. And then once I do get my power, I can hopefully catch them off guard with the one-shot downs. The only thing to be careful of is getting power and downs fast enough, with how fast gens can fly in this mode. They don't know. Hello. I don't know what the plan was there. Boom. Somebody's here somewhere. Oh my god. Thank you. What do you want me to do? I knew someone was there. That's already regressing. Oh my god. They scared me. I just swung like... Alright. Meh. That was crazy. That was almost such a cool moment. You get Glenn too. Crazy you didn't drop that. Perfect, perfect. Okay, it wasn't all in vain. Okay. That will help. Nice. That was so stupid, man. That was dumb. I didn't even do that on purpose. Hello? Who's next? Okay. Who's next? I don't know. Is she on Death Hook too? Wait, I could have moried them all. I forgot with V. She is. Oh my god. I actually think I'm hallucinating. Like, alright, I want this. I risk her jumping in hatch, but that's okay. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Got to be kidding me. I'm sorry, but I had to. I had to. Please forgive me. Overall, Myers performed about as well as I expected. I was able to get some pretty good stalks from a distance without survivors noticing me, and sometimes the survivors ended up jump scaring me instead. For stealth, I'm giving him a 5 out of 5. For strength, I'm giving him a 4 out of 5. And for fun, I'm giving him a 4 out of 5. Stalking people through the darkness and catching them completely off guard is pretty much exactly what Myers was made for. A classic just leave moment in the exit gate gives some bonus points too. That gives him a 13 out of 15 overall and puts him in S tier alongside Chucky. Next up is Demogorgon, who's not exactly a traditional stealth killer, but he does have a little bit in his kit. He does become undetectable after emerging from a portal, and he's pretty quiet when walking around. Plus, the portals give him some nice map mobility, so I was curious how much all of that would help him in Lights Out. I also started noticing an interesting pattern of survivors giving up instantly at the start of the game, or sometimes even later in the game when they weren't even losing. Okay. Good start. Am I crazy? She was like, yes. He's just running. You're the one doing all my gens. You need to have quick chases. Don't care. Not chasing. Hello! I poked everyone. Yippee me. Go check over here. Perfect. Okay, this puts us in a, like a decent spot. Back to hook. I can't believe you didn't drop that. God, I can't believe I ate hooked. Don't touch my portal. That's what happens when you touch my portal. Nice. Now's the tough part. Never mind. Demo ended up being a solid middle-of-the-road pick for me. I gave him a 3 out of 5 across the board. I was able to catch people off guard a surprising amount with him. Between that and his portals being helpful for mobility and also keeping survivors off gens when they attempted to close them, I felt like he was decently strong. I also gave him a 3 for fun. I had a pretty good time with him and didn't feel overly frustrated. So he gets a 9 out of 15 overall, landing him at the top of B tier. Next we have Springtrap, who actually has a few things going for him in Lights Out. His doors give him some nice map mobility, and he becomes undetectable after coming out of them. The problem is, survivors can hear when you use a door near their gen, so instead I tried teleporting somewhere nearby and approaching on foot. Of course, Springtrap is also approximately the size of a building and has some pretty loud footsteps, so we'll see exactly how stealthy he can be. Back this way. Hello. Alright, I guess I'm just going back. Oh, hello? I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to even hit you, but it's how it be sometimes. Sable, why would you farm her like that? I'm not gonna kill you, Michaela. And I'm sure that I'll come to regret my actions in the future. Perfect. I see their little shadows. Goodbye, Sable. Okay. You can't go on this hook, though. She's already used it. But I can find you another one. Very nice axe throw. They're very aware, like they hear the doors. And they're just like gone, man. Alright, I'm not coming through the door this time. Come from the side. And they won't be expecting it. Very smart. Very smart on my end. Springtrap actually surprised me a little bit when it came to stealth. Despite being huge and incredibly loud, I still managed to catch survivors off guard quite a few times, so I'm giving him a 2 out of 5 for stealth. It worked better than I expected, but there are definitely much sneakier killers in the list. For strength, I'm giving him a 3 out of 5. His axe gives him some extra help in chase, even though I'm not the best with ranged killers, but I didn't even really need to rely on it that much. I was getting enough free hits off gens that I could keep things moving pretty quickly. And for fun, I'm giving him a 2 out of 5. I did win both games and had a decent amount of fun, but I did find I felt a little more stressed playing Springtrap than some of the other killers. That gives him a 7 out of 15, putting him into B tier. Now for a little bit of a surprise. Twins actually weren't even on my original list, but then I remembered that Victor has undetectable, and considering he's also tiny, I started thinking he might be kind of terrifying in Lights Out. The best part is, I had literally never played Twins before this experiment, so I really had no idea how this was going to go. But I knew most survivors probably weren't expecting to see him, so this could definitely get interesting. My god! Dude, like, first of all, I've never played twins until today. No, I didn't know if they were back there, man. Like, launching. Sim just feels so fun. I gotta go check the gens. Stop tunneling. She, like, did not see me. Alright, do this, do that. A little this, a little bit of that. Alright. Go, go, go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. No! Don't touch my Victor. Alright, that's enough now. It's enough now. Oh, this tree. Nice tree. My bad. My bad. My bad. Oh, who's over here? Perfect. Sorry, Kate. Alright, get on Kate. Perfect. Perfecto. Okay. Dang. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. All right. Really? Interesting choice there, Dwight. Okay, I was not expecting twins to be this much fun. I'm giving them a 4 out of 5 for stealth. Victor being undetectable and so ridiculously small makes it really easy to catch survivors off guard, but what I didn't really think about beforehand is that survivors also have no idea where Charlotte is. You can attack someone with Victor, and then Charlotte is just somewhere in the darkness waiting for you. Strength is also getting a 4 out of 5. Twins can already be pretty oppressive in regular matches because of their ability to slug and snowball, and adding Lights Out on top of that is honestly a little diabolical. And fun is an easy 5 out of 5. Running around as this tiny, undetectable creature and launching myself at unsuspecting survivors was way more entertaining than I expected. I actually can't wait to try this killer out more in normal mode. So somehow, on my very first time playing twins, they get a 13 out of 15 and go straight into S tier, alongside DBD's top stealth killers. On to Onryo, another killer I thought would be a pretty natural fit for Lights Out. She can teleport around the map through her TVs, which gives her some nice mobility and can force survivors to waste time dealing with the tapes. She also gets a brief period of undetectable after teleporting and when demanifesting, so on paper I thought she had a lot going for her. I generally have a pretty good time playing Onryo too, so I was expecting this one to go fairly well. This is gonna be bad. There we go. That's goofy. Hello? Jeez, something is feeling very, like, clunky right now with this. That should have been a grab. That should have been a grab, man. Alright. Hello? What is, like, this hit? Yep. You're joking. Wonder if they'd come for this. Oh wait, he's literally dead. Yeah, well. Unfortunately, Onryo just wasn't really working for me in Lights Out. I gave her a 2 out of 5 for stealth. The brief undetectable can definitely help, but compared to some of the other killers I played, it felt like I was doing a lot more work for not nearly as much payoff. Strength also gets a 2 out of 5. The teleportation is useful for getting around the map, and survivors doing tapes can potentially buy you some time, but I really struggle to turn any of that into consistent pressure. And fun gets a 1 out of 5, which surprised me because I normally enjoy playing Onryo, but between some rough chases, broken grabs, and survivors absolutely flying through gens, I just wasn't having a good time. To be fair, I also wasn't playing my best and had some pretty strong survivor teams, so I can't blame all of that on Onryo, but for my experience in Lights Out, she gets a 5 out of 15 and lands in C tier. Now, another obvious choice for the list, Ghostface. He's already built around stealth and stalking survivors without being noticed, so he should shine in this mode. If I can manage to get stalk without being revealed, I should be able to catch people completely off guard with some pretty easy one-shot downs. Nice map for Ghosty. He theoretically should be like the poster child for this mode, right? Alright, let's get crazy. That's not exactly what I had in mind. Alright. Not sure she was aware. I literally exposed her and she didn't even move. They're on this one. That was crazy. This is why I can't play this mode on Survivor. Very good. Wall of doom and despair. Where even is Michaela, by the way? Oh my god. I got stuck on the chair. My god. Okay. Okay. And crazy she was still on the gen. So Ghostface was pretty much exactly what you'd expect. I'm giving him an easy 5 out of 5 for stealth. Lights Out makes it even easier to stalk survivors without being noticed, and having on-demand undetectable obviously makes him one of the best actual stealth killers on this list. Strength gets a 4 out of 5. Being able to sneak up on someone and expose them for a quick down is incredibly useful when you really don't want to waste time and chase. And fun also gets a 4 out of 5. I had a good time sneaking around and catching people off guard, even if there wasn't anything particularly surprising about how he performed. That's another 13 out of 15 and puts Ghostface into S tier. Dredge is actually a killer I've seen quite a few people recommend for Lights Out because of his Nightfall. During Nightfall, Dredge becomes undetectable and survivors are highlighted, which sounded especially helpful because I was definitely having trouble keeping track of survivors in the darkness. He also has his locker teleports for getting around the map, so I could definitely see the potential here. Unfortunately, my actual experience with him was a little rougher. Thank you. Don't point at me. Do not do it. Bro! It's over, man. Alright, I do like this a lot. 'Cause I be blind. Okay. Like, I'm very, very confused right now. Why would you be giving up? Like, I'm literally getting destroyed. Double Steves. Go, go, go. I didn't know they had this open. I'll take my 2K. Dredge was another one that just didn't really work out too well for me. Nightfall was definitely the highlight. I loved actually being able to see survivors clearly for once, but I didn't end up spending enough of the match in Nightfall for it to make a huge difference. I'm giving him a 2 out of 5 for stealth. Nightfall is great, but outside of that, I didn't find his locker teleports particularly stealthy compared to some of the other killers on this list. Strength also gets a 2 out of 5. I had a decent survivor team and really struggled to secure quick downs. And fun gets a 1 out of 5. I just wasn't having a great time. I definitely think someone who's better with Dredge could get a lot more out of him in this mode, but based on my brief experience, he wasn't for me. That gives Dredge a 5 out of 15 and puts him in C tier alongside Onryo. Wraith is another killer you would initially think could be a good pick for Lights Out. His cloak gives him great mobility around the map, and normally being able to sneak up on survivors while cloaked is one of his biggest strengths. The problem is, in a mode where every killer is already basically a stealth killer, Wraith still has to ring a giant bell every time he wants to uncloak and actually hit someone. If there was ever a time to give me Silent Bell, this would have been it. What? You are mad that I'm Wraith? Like, Wraith? Pfft. Survivors playing the mode intentionally. Okay. What is happening? Like, why do they all just, like, beg me? I barely even downed anybody. Okay. She just... Why did she fall back in? Wait, I need to lock in. I kind of was gonna, like, let the Atom live. Yeah. Yeah, it's an issue. Huh. Meg. That was stupid, actually. I should have carried him in further. Please get out. Okay. That's crazy. Get off of me! Get off! Ain't no way. Quadruple gen was crazy. God. Get rid of this pallet. Hello. They just, like, stay in, like, a group. Hello? No. No, 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 no. Alucard does not care. I'm sorry, I would let you live, but, like, I'm never gonna be able to find him. I mean, I'm not literally... No, I'm sorry, but, like, you didn't even take a hook state. I'm not nice anymore. So Wraith ended up being a little more disappointing than I expected. I'm still giving him a 3 out of 5 for stealth because being able to move around cloaked definitely helped me approach survivors, and I was able to catch people off guard, especially in my second game. Strength gets a 2 out of 5. The mobility is great, but I really struggled to maintain pressure in my first game, even with survivors giving up. I definitely made some questionable decisions and probably should have stayed uncloaked more in certain situations, but it felt like if I wasn't getting those quick surprise hits, the game could get away from me really fast. But overall, he still didn't feel as strong as I expected. And Fun gets a 2 out of 5. I didn't hate playing him, but between apparently forgetting how to uncloak and struggling to keep pressure, I can't say I was having the time of my life. That gives Wraith a 7 out of 15, putting him in B tier. Now on to our 2 trap killers. Obviously, Hag and Trapper aren't actually stealth killers, but I wanted to see if the limited visibility in Lights Out could make their traps a little more interesting. Starting with Hag, she's generally considered a pretty weak killer, but she can also be a bit of a pub stomper, especially since you don't see her very often. So I was curious if hiding her traps in the darkness would make it even easier to catch people off guard. Oh my god, it scared me even, man. Nice. Alright, we gotta retrap. Hello? Hello? I'm going crazy. And push her off. What are you doing? What are you doing? You don't, you don't, you don't, you do! Second one. Hello? Nice. Oh, hurry, hurry, hurry. Okay. This is pressure. Hag, strongest killer in the game. Wait, Nancy. Smack her off that barrel. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's a rough pallet. What? I've had it with that. I've had it. Sorry, Nancy. Oh yeah, I forgot about the crazy endurance. Wait, is he here? Bro. Oh, he went down to mending? Okay. Okay. Hag ended up being one of the more surprisingly fun killers for me in this mode. I got a lot of value out of the traps, both for catching survivors off guard and creating some pretty good snowball potential, without having to spend as much time committing to long chases. I'm giving her a 3 out of 5 for stealth. Obviously, Hag herself isn't really stealthy, but her traps were really helpful in catching survivors off guard. Strength also gets a 3 out of 5. She's still not the strongest killer, but I think the mode played into her strengths really well, especially against survivors who weren't quite prepared for the traps. This includes a little baby Dustin who was perhaps not having the time of his life in this mode. And Fun gets a 4 out of 5. I genuinely had a ton of fun playing her. So overall, Hag gets a 10 out of 15 and lands in A tier. And then we have our second trap killer, Trapper. After how well Hag's traps worked in Lights Out, I was actually pretty curious to see if Trapper could pull off something similar. and I ended up getting Leary's, which honestly seemed like it could be perfect for this. Tons of tight rooms and doorways where survivors might not see a trap until it's too late. Unfortunately, I very quickly realized things were not going to go according to my plans. That should have been a grab. Number 850 million. Please. Oh, here's basement. They avoided my trap. How could they do this? Okay. Don't say no. Like, these survivors are, like, crying when they're, like, destroying me. Perfect. Literally every time I step in a trap, I struggle for, like, 18 tries, and they always get out in, like, one when I'm actually playing Trapper. I've had it with this. Oh my god, man. I wanted to pick it up, bro. Give me this freaking trap. Pick it up! Pick up the... Okay. Like, how do they get out so fast? Stop saying no. Literally fighting for my life. Gotta be kidding me. No way. I can't believe that. Bill, you're not here for this. You're not strong enough. Okay, Bill. Goodbye, Bill. So, Trapper did not quite have the same experience as Hag. In theory, hiding traps in dark doorways on Leary's sounded great. In reality, I apparently forgot that I also need to walk through those doorways. Between constantly having to navigate around my own traps, survivors escaping them in approximately 2 seconds, and only being able to carry 2 at a time, this became stressful very quickly. I'm giving Trapper a 1 out of 5 across the board. And somehow, after all of that, I did still get the 4K. Trapper probably can perform better in this mode. It's probably just hit or miss depending on the match, but for me, I was sweating by the end of this game and having absolutely none of the fun that I had with Hag. So despite the 4K, Trapper gets a 3 out of 15 and becomes our one and only D-tier killer. And don't worry, I didn't forget about Pig. She's another pretty obvious choice for Lights Out with on-demand stealth that should make it even easier to sneak up on survivors. The one downside is that if I actually want to go for a grab, I have to stand back up first, which gives survivors a little more warning than I'd like. But on top of the stealth, her bear traps can also give me some much needed slowdown, and hopefully keep survivors busy with something other than gens. So let's see if Pig can end this experiment on a high note. Should have been a grab. Alright. Whoops. My bad. Oh my god, someone's over here. Someone's over here. Someone's over here. Dang. How dare you, Rick? I'm chasing this guy. And he didn't go to the pallet. Don't know why. No, don't expose me like that. Okay. He's here. Okay. I did not think... Like, the grabs just... I get them when it doesn't seem like I would get them. They only have one gen left? Dude. Alright, gotta get pressure here. Just use the last one. Alright. Hit somebody out. I'll hit you, but... maybe not. I'm not even committing to you, because you probably think I am. Which tells me they headed to the other gen. Why is she giving up? Why? Alright. There we go. Yeah, you really can't commit to chases. I knew I shouldn't have been, but you know. Overall, Pig ended up being a pretty solid pick. I'm giving her a 4 out of 5 for stealth. Her crouch worked really well for sneaking up on survivors, even if having to stand back up made those surprise grabs a little more difficult. Strength gets a 3 out of 5. The traps gave me some useful slowdown, but I definitely hurt myself by committing to a few chases for longer than I probably should have. And as we've learned by now, you really can't afford to waste much time in this mode. And Fun gets a 3 out of 5. I had a good time with her and still managed to pull out the win, even with yet another survivor randomly deciding they were done with the match. That gives Pig a 10 out of 15, putting her in A tier. And there we have it, my final Lights Out Stealth Killer tier list. I definitely think this mode can make already stealthy killers even stronger, but some of the less obvious choices surprised me the most. I did not expect twins to be one of my favorites, and Hag ended up being way more fun than I thought too. Obviously, this is all just based on my own experience, and as you saw, some games went a little better than others, but I had a lot of fun testing everyone out. Let me know in the comments who your favorite killer has been in Lights Out, or if there's anyone you think I overlooked. If you enjoyed the video, your like and subscribe would be much appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.